A princeling, broadly speaking, is the son or daughter of a high-ranking government official. How do they come into my vision? How do I cover them? Look at the system in China. Is it different from the West? This is an argument that's often presented. There's no difference in the influence in the West than there is in China. But China is a very different system. It's still a state-controlled economy in many aspects. Finance, for example, is restricted. The energy area is restricted for foreign investment. So when I talk to investors, either into private equity funds or deal makers, what they talk about is a patronage system. And the way they view China, now whether this is really the real China or whether this is their Western perception of China, they're looking for people who have influence, who can get them into deals, get them into investments where they make higher returns than they would in a regular investment. And that's where the princelings can come into play. Because if you have a controlled economy where the gateways are controlled by government officials and you have high-ranking government officials' children setting up private equity funds, for example, then you have a perfect marriage almost. And that's what I see going on in that market. They're very active in the private equity space. I've tracked 15 different funds that have raised over 17 billion in capital. Among those numbers are Liu Lefei, the son of Liu Yunshan, who is probably Liu Lefei is regarded as probably the most powerful amongst the private equity princelings. He's the head of CITIC Private Equity Funds Management. They've raised over 5.1 billion in capital for investment. From speaking to my sources, they seem to divide roughly 50-50. Some of them are very much in favour of investing with princelings, and they actually rank them in a hierarchy. They look for those that they perceive to have the most influence. The other 50% are absolute no, we don't go near this because of the risks involved with it. When you ask them what are the risks involved, when I ask them that, they talk about headline risk. The headline risk for them is a deal that goes badly wrong, a deal that blows up, or, for example, a princeling whose family falls from power. And as we've seen in recent times, that does happen in China. That has been happening. Are these princelings going anywhere? I personally don't think all of them are going to disappear. That's just a personal opinion. It's also from talking to my sources. Obviously, there's a lot of investors out there who are still putting money into princeling private equity funds. But obviously, as we've seen the fall of Beaujolais. I don't think anybody knows exactly who might be next in line. The question that I perceive to be current from talking to my sources is they're not sure. They're being very cautious. On the private equity space, the regular private equity firms, what I'm hearing from my sources is they're quite happy about the campaign against corruption at the moment because it makes it easier for them to get deals. They don't have to compete with very powerful princeling funds right now.